Boom, bitches.
That's the winner right there. Winning.
It's Friday night.
Guaranteed win right here.
Whenever Moda says that, it's
win.
a guaranteed loss.
Ooh. This hand's so fucking glorious.
Who usually wins?
Not me.
The first time in 52 years, the Giants are world champions.
That's every kid's dream.
Whatever happened last year's over.
It's time for us to go to work.
It's going to be harder than it was. But everyone's gunning for us.
It's just one of those things, either you have it in you or you don't.
This is a new year, it's a new season, new race, and we want to defend our championship.
After losing 3 straight to their rivals from the East, the defending champs would need their ace to be the stopper to avoid a series sweep.
On the hill today for the Giants, the right-hander Tim Lincecum.
The Giants are 62-52, still a half game up in spite of their roughest week of the season.
Strike 3 call.
It was a big game.
Phillies just utterly dominated the Giants in the first 3 games.
They were on a 9-game winning streak or something like that.
And to say that there's an edge between these two teams is an understatement.
You know, we were going through our little bump in the road.
12 of the last 16 games, they've scored less than 3 runs. So that hasn't happened to this team in 102 years.
Regardless of, if it's a 2-game losing streak or, we're still ahead 10 games in the division, our mindset when we go out there, it's for a purpose. And to try to shut out the opponent.
What's the best part of being Tim Lincecum?
It's just fortunate enough to be able to play a game that I love and, do it for a living.
Since his college days at the University of Washington, Tim Lincecum has been known as the Freak, a nickname inspired by his incredible athletic ability and his unlikely dominance on the mound.
Tim Lincecum, Giants 2-time Cy Young Award winner.
And while Lincecum revels in overpowering hitters every 5th day, he shies away from the stardom that comes with his success.
As much as it seems like, guys like us that play baseball or, come on this big stage, enjoy the attention.
Thanks, Tim. We love you. We love you, Timmy.
Sometimes it can be overwhelming.
Hey, I'm from Tacoma. Thank you.
I wish I could say I know what it was like to be Tim, because I'm sure it's pretty difficult at times.
The reticent superstar is sometimes overwhelmed by his legion of fans, who marvel at the freakish skill belying his diminutive frame.
From what I hear is people can take a likeness with me. They can find something in common with me. I don't seem like that strong guy that looks like he's gonna dominate people. I look like the kid riding a skateboard down the street going to school or some shit like that.
Where do you come in on global warming?
No comment. Whether it's media or, fans or, just friends that you haven't talked to in 10 years, it just becomes, I wouldn't say a pain in the ass, it's just something close to that. So I've always been one to kind of shy away from it.
One of these characters is Tim Lincecum. Where's Tim? I see him back there. Timmy he's pretty shy. He's a pretty quiet, reserved guy, when he's around people that he doesn't really know.
I'm kind of a homebody anyway, I like to play my video games.
Come on! Damn it!
I like to hang out with my puppies.
Yeah.
There's an irony because Timmy is such a people person in the clubhouse. He's fun to be around.
I've learned he's not just the laid-back, quiet guy that everybody thinks he is. He loves to have a good time. He's in there joking in the clubhouse.
He's joking around, he's in there singing, you know, playing dominoes. But when he steps on the field, he transforms into this game-time kid that is going to do whatever he can to win a baseball game.
It's strike three call. 14 strikeouts for Lincecum.
That's the Giants postseason record.
People say, well, you know, you made your bed, now line it, whatever. But Timmy just likes throwing baseballs. Don't hold that against him.
I'd kind of just stay under the radar and hopefully let my ball do the talking.
And the Giants turn to ace right-hander Tim Lincecum. He will try and be the stopper. Howard swings and misses.
Timmy, he's a pretty intense competitor. When he goes out there, it's his day to pitch. He's going to go out and try to dominate.
You know, you're pitching up against a good opponent, but you got to be pretty fine.
Got him.
Attaboy, Timmy.
And when Stu and I get on the same page, it seems like things work well.
What do you want here?
It's just one of those things. I think we both have a similar game plan going in. We never talk before the game.
Fastball down away. Get it down there.
And they bust them in later.
Yeah, get it, if you're going to go in, let's get it off in there, all right?
Okay, yeah.
Here we go. First pitch, fastball in?
Yeah.
Come on, get it down there.
We're so in tune with each other, we kind of know what we want to do to each guy.
Attaboy, come on, Timmy. It's like online more now, you know what I mean? You're not really having to fight it, you're just letting it go.
And it's just one of those, he just needs a kick in the butt sometimes, just like everybody.
Keep going, you got to do it again. You want to go change-ups? Yeah, got to.
A little reminder saying, hey, you know, we still got a job to do. Let's get back on track and, you know, get you to do what you do.
Change up, struck him out swinging.
Attaboy, Timmy. Do it again, here we go, come on.
Having helped Lincecum on the mound, Stewart looks to provide some much-needed run support at the plate.
Here is Chris Stewart. Giants have not had a hit with a runner in scoring position in this series. He swings away here and bloops one into shallow left. Out goes Rollins. He's backpedaling now. Reaches up and makes the catch.
Fuck!
It's a pretty good pitch to hit, but I don't know, you know, what you're looking for, whatever else.
For real, I got to do a little better than that.
Chris Stewart at the plate, bases loaded, one out. 1-0 Philadelphia. A lot of pressure on the 8th place hitter here to at least get one run in.
0-2 to Stewart. And a base hit into center field.
There's a big hit for Stewart, and it ties this game at 1.
And a little flare to right field. It's going to be Pence catching and Stewart running.
For the first time all series, the Giants finally get to the Phillies.
Hey, Gru. Yeah. Need a patch, please.
And for Stewart, the price for offense is well worth it.
I need to learn how to slide right. It's not even the right knee you're supposed to scrape up.
The Giants are going to go to the bullpen.
How about Timmy?
Tim Lincecum went 7 2/3 today, and Lincecum departs to a lusty ovation for the big crowd.
As much as Tim Lincecum shuns the spotlight, Brian Wilson embraces it. And while Fear the Beard has penetrated pop culture, it's his lack of fear that drives him.
You come into a game, there's 50,000 fans going nuts.
The game and the balance right here.
Everyone's eyes are on you. Whether you're in a visiting stadium, the masses are hoping you fail, or you're at your home stadium and the masses are hoping you are the victor.
We've seen Wilson walk this tightrope before.
Everything's amplified.
The adrenal glands pumping.
Now some pressure on Brian Wilson.
The pressure is immense. The only thing you start thinking about is the mind games that you play in yourself. Sometimes you start getting that cancerous thought about failure. Cancerous thought about failure. And that can take over your whole inning. And the more negative thoughts you have, the more negative outcomes you'll have. In order to complete that inning, you just have to have the ability to forget the negative.
This was never more palpable than in Detroit earlier this season.
And now it's Brian Wilson. The bottom of the 9th inning.
Well, a couple of broken bat hits here.
Little Lippert.
Infield hit there.
And he walked in to load the bases.
Walk.
Line drive. It's a base hit left field. And it's It's 4-2.
And I find myself coming out of the game.
Brian Wilson will not walk out of here happy.
As a closer, it's embarrassing to be taken out of the 9th inning.
Wilson not only blew the save, but was trying to get the win, and Wilson will depart the scene here.
Your job description is to go out there, win, lose, or draw. You're the last guy standing. Well, I wasn't the last guy standing, so I was pissed off about it.
And Brian Wilson just chucked a cooler in the dugout.
Pissed off the fact that I didn't get my job done.
Wilson just going off now. Wow, that's some major snappage.
So I took 30 seconds to allow myself to completely lose it, snap a little bit.
Look out below. You notice how everybody's staying out of his way, don't you?
Smashed a water cooler. No big deal. It's made of plastic. It's fine.
Wow. Well, closers are a different breed.
And then Affeldt did a terrific job coming in, saving my ass, and got a double play. We win the game.
Double play, and the ball game is over.
Giants win. I'm over it.
Save opportunity for Brian Wilson, who has 33 of them.
He leads the National League in saves.
Phillies get the tying run to the plate, and Rollins is going to be the hitter. Fontenot knocks it down to Huff. Ball game. Well, the Giants salvage a game in this 4-game series, and today they send out Tim Lincecum, the Giants ace, to get him a win, and he does.
Well, what a huge win for this Giants team.
Any momentum gained from the win versus Philly was short-lived as the Giants continue to struggle.
Morton to second for one. Wood to first. It's a double play. And that's it for the Giants. They do not score.
It's just not good around the Giants these days. August has been El Stinko. Monday night, another example. Giants silenced by the Pittsburgh Pirates, who broke a 10-game losing streak.
Well, 6 hits on the night. It's a big problem.
Yeah.
Because they don't get any run support.
Wood, a little looper, and that's going to get in for another hit. Torres's throw over the cutoff man, but not nearly in time. And the Pirates lead is 5-0.
Man, oh man.
Yep. Yeah, it's like that.
I mean, listen, you don't think that the fans fell in love with that group last year? They loved every possible story from every one of those guys.
Right.
Now some of those guys are just not doing what they usually do.
They've lost 9 of 11. They're floundering, they're flailing.
I'll tell you what's missing on this team. It's nothing to do with chemistry, it's swagger. And they've lost that swagger.
How about the fact that Tim Flannery is going to sing the national anthem?
I think I'm more excited for that than he is.
What do you do when you're nervous?
Depends on the situation. Give me an example.
You're singing the national anthem of the Grateful Dead.
I call in sick.
You gonna sing today?
Yeah, they got me singing the High Harmony.
With Bob and Phil?
Yeah.
That'll be fantastic.
I'm scared. We're rehearsing right now.
What else is there to do?
For Giants fans that have never heard Tim Flannery, he's fabulous. This is not his first rodeo, I mean, and it'll be entertaining.
Come a little closer. Tell me the thing.
As an accomplished musician, Flannery is no stranger to playing in front of a crowd. This past June, he and Brian Wilson were the main attraction at a gathering celebrating their Irish heritage.
When she holds my hand, I can never forget that girl I love.
You know, they say music to the Irish is like baseball to the Americans. You know, it's like, it's in our DNA.
We're gonna nail it. Just like we nailed the Irish gig. That's what we do. You can't fuck it up, you're Irish.
It's in our blood.
It's in our blood.
How about Flannery singing the anthem? He told us a great story. He said that he was concerned that it would be considered a distraction. He texted Sabian, and Sabian texted right back. He told Flannery, sing your ass off.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
I was plenty nervous going into this thing, and these guys are such pros that they went to another level and they dragged me along with them.
And the home of the brave.
It was something I'll always say, hey, you ever sung the national anthem? I'm gonna go, yeah, one time. With the Grateful Dead. With the Grateful Dead.
The Pirates trail the Giants 1-0.
Here in the Giants' half of the fifth inning, it'll be Chris Stewart to lead things off. And Stewart, it's a high drive to left. It is out of here. Chris Stewart's first big league home run.
Congratulations, Chris Stewart.
And that's a trot that feels pretty good, folks.
What a moment for Chris Stewart.
That's his 10th year of professional baseball, his first big league home run.
That is a guy who has taken a lot of bus rides. It's all worth it after that one.
Giants on top in this one. It's 6-0.
2 down for the Pirates in the ninth. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And the Giants, they have evened this series in 1 game apiece. It's a win that they needed badly.
Chris, you hit your first career Major League home run. Quite the reception from your teammates.
They were just, super happy for me. They know kind of the struggles I've been through in my career, and finally catching a break now, and it was just a glad moment for everybody. Look. You want to put that up? So Daddy's baseball. Daddy finally hit a home run. Is that fun? Yeah. Is that cool? You say go Giants? That's right.
I'm gonna squat until my fucking legs break.
It's a sight to see in the weight room for sure. It's one of the crazier workouts I've ever seen. I just throw on a pair of, baseball sliders. It wears long socks. It wears his ridiculously cut off t-shirt, almost like a Hulk Hogan deal where he can just rip it off if he wanted to.
Wilson, he's the kind of guy that the drive that he has, he needs to prepare. That's his routine. If he's not in the weight room getting a nice workout in, he's not prepared for that game. He wants to make sure that he's both mentally and physically fit to just get the job done. There's times where he's throwing 3, 4, 5 nights in a row, which, most other closers might take those days off, but he won't do that.
When I am on the mound, that is my time, that is my work. Everything that I do up until then is preparing me for that moment. So when I'm on the mound, I'm not thinking I probably could have worked a little bit harder today. That will never be the case.
Wilson with more saves than anybody in the game the last 4 years.
He is a closer extraordinaire.
Wilson's celebratory gesture is a source of relief and joy for Giants fans. But for the closer, it represents something deeply personal.
Ball game. Giants win it.
That has to do with my dad. It has nothing to do with the game of baseball specifically, but it has to do with all the steps that I've taken to get there.
And the Giants win the pennant.
I'm not going to forget where I got my skill set from. I'm not going to forget how I grew up, and I'm not going to forget my dad.
Brian Wilson is out of Londonderry, New Hampshire. There aren't very many players that come from New Hampshire.
Though New Hampshire may not be a hotbed for pro baseball players, Michael Wilson, a 22-year veteran of the United States Air Force, instilled his passion for the game into his son at an early age.
Started with wiffle ball. Coming home from the Air Force base, sun's just coming down, takes you out in the backyard and sit there and throw you underhand wiffle ball pitches for an hour. You're 5 years old, this is the greatest time of the day. Started from that and just became a little bit more progressive, you know, go into T-ball, then go through all the steps, and then it becomes competitive. And at one point, it's no longer fun. It's like you better do well, and you better not cry about it either. You had to learn the hard way because he grew up military. He was in the military when he was 17, so there was only one way he knew how to teach. He'd throw me, you know, he'd take me out, 2 hours, ground balls, of course, metal bats, infield's like 60 feet away, and he's firing rockets at me and, you know, getting pissed, stay in front of the ball.
Growing up in a military household thickened Wilson's skin, but nothing could have prepared 12-year-old Brian for the news his father told him one day on the way to the ball field.
We were in the car, and we're driving to baseball practice. And that's when he looked over at me, laughed, and said, "Brian, you know, I have cancer." Never saw my dad cry, not once. And I think that's his only way of describing the pain that he was going through was through humor. And for me, at 12, the only thing I know from cancer is those shitty movies where everybody dies, and there's nothing good about it.
As his father began his battle with kidney cancer, Wilson struggled to cope with his absence.
From 12 to 17, I rarely saw him. You know, bed-stricken. He would drive an hour and a half where they were doing some tests. He'd be gone for the weekend. My mom had to be by his side. I did what I could, but obviously it wasn't an easy time. I was getting in trouble a lot. I just went 5 years of my life on my own, trying to go through an adolescent life where it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be no responsibilities, but, you know, that's lingering in the back of my head, you know, when's the final day coming? When I was 16, he came home with the news that he beat cancer, that the cure worked. And this was probably the greatest news I'd ever heard because, you know, I hadn't seen the guy in 4 years. But about 2 months after that, they found a tumor in his brain. And it was from the experimental drugs that he was taking that, you know, subsequently beat the cancer but caused a brain tumor. And he sat me down, he said, "You know, I'm not gonna watch you graduate. I'm not gonna know whether or not you're gonna be successful, but just understand that I did everything I could. You know, I fought to my best ability, but I'm okay with dying." It was an emotional time, it was difficult. He gave me the final talk and told me what it's like and what did he expect of me. I was 17 when he told me that, and then he passed away.
Though he'd never see his son make it to the big leagues, Michael Wilson's impact on Brian is immeasurable.
In all fairness, it wasn't until he passed away that I understood what he was preparing me for. He was preparing me for me to be on my own.
Brian Wilson trying to get the biggest save of them all here.
Another thing he taught me, if you're going to dive into something, dive into it 100%. Don't be afraid of failing. It's okay to fail. At least you knew that you put forth your best effort.
Brian Wilson went through a lot as a young boy. Lost his dad when he was 17.
So every day I wake up, you know, I try to make sure that I put forth 100% effort.
Wilson sets, and he comes to the plate.
Here it is. Struck him out. Giants baseball today from AT&T Park in San Francisco, and the Giants and the Pittsburgh Pirates, final game of this 3-game series. The Giants still the first place team in the National League West by a half game over the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Here's Ludwig, 1 for 8 against Sanchez, lifetime hitting .238.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and a little flip.
No.
McCutchen comes around to score.
Dang it.
And Ludwig with another 2-out base hit.
While his teammates struggle back in San Francisco, second baseman Freddie Sanchez has become a spectator.
It's been a week yesterday.
Unsuccessful rehab on his injured shoulder left him no other option but to have season-ending surgery.
They just took the sutures out yesterday, I want to say, or the day before. So there, you know, there, and I think there's one back there somewhere, right there.
We did everything we could. It just wasn't progressing as quickly as we expected. And now that I got the surgery, we know that it wasn't going to get better no matter what I did.
Here's Sandoval at .310, 12 home runs, 42 RBIs.
It's good to see Pablo, you know, healthy and swinging the bat well. He's been the anchor, you know, and there we go right there. Get up. Get up. Nice. Attaboy, Panda.
It ties the game.
The last 19 home runs the Giants have hit have been solo shots, and that ties a record that the Philadelphia Phillies set back in 1914.
The Giants' punchless offense makes it even harder for the former Pirates batting champ turned couch potato to watch today's game.
But yeah, I mean, it's tough knowing that these guys are out there battling, giving it everything they have, and you know, I can't be on the field with them.
And now in a rundown is Pierce, and he throws it away. And it'll roll into the dugout.
Not good. My number one goal and my only goal is to get healthy, to be ready for opening day next season, you know. I see good things happening, you know. At the end of next year, I'll be a free agent, but San Francisco's home for me. I'd love to retire a San Francisco Giant.
And that ends the ball game. Today, your final, it's the Pirates 9 and the Giants 2. So the Giants end up 3-7 on this homestand, and they lose today.
They're out of first. Yeah. It's bad.
What can you guys do to get more production out of the top of the order so there's guys on base?
They just have to get it going. I don't know how else really to say it.
So the Giants have lost 4 consecutive series, including all 3 in a 3-7 homestand. They've fallen from first place for the first time since June 24th, and since the Beltran trade, they're 4-10.
Right now, their confidence is shaken.
This is the game of baseball, you know. Injuries are going to happen. Sometimes you're going to get hot, sometimes you're going to get cold. Nobody said that was going to be easy, you know, so hopefully it will change.
Despite the many moves that the Giants made to bolster their offense, they're now last in the National League in runs scored. No team in this position has ever won their division.
They're going to have to find ways to crank it up and get some energy going into Friday night as they head out to South Florida.
You can't continue to play this kind of ball when you got a team breathing down your neck and now has passed you. I mean, they're going to have to come up with some answers pretty much right now. It's time to put up or shut up.
Coming up next time on The Franchise.
You know, I haven't been able to do what a husband should be able to do for his pregnant wife.
You sure?
Yeah. Can't be that bad. It's gonna grow back, hopefully.
I love you, Dad. I had already died for 8 minutes, and they brought me back. Here I am.
Brandon Bell done it again.
You know what that swing of the bat says right there? I ain't going back down to Fresno.
Video games are like a necessity. Competitive nature comes out regardless of what I'm doing.
This table's terrible. Don't play on that table.
You can use core balance if you want.
I got some core balance for you right here.
Throw nunchucks, dude. We're gonna call these homing nunchucks.
Shut it up, bitches. And domino bitches.
That's great. Congratulations.
I got fucking screwed on that hand.
Dude, there's just like homing chiclets. Cheek leg, get your cheek leg.
What a great hand.
Whoop, whoop.
Life keeps.
Whoop, whoop. Holy guacamole. Oh, level up. Look at this. Shooting boomerangs. I'm shooting big ass bomb things. I'm getting you. Guaranteed wing. Yeah. Dude, I got 5th. Sergio, not gonna tell you what F means. Romo 54. Man.